Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We are on K2Born. My name is Tanguy Jacopin, and we are on the strategy series. And we're going to evoke a new tool today. It's a business model generation. What is it about? Well, it's a framework that was coined by Osterwalder and Bigner. Sorry, it's E instead of the A here. And we can say a few things concerning this framework. First, it's one of the first ones that truly become an alternative to the business plan, because as you know, business plans do not work for startups. They only work for multinational corporations or big SMEs, medium enterprises. So in that sense, it's pretty interesting to consider this plan. Second, it works as well for big companies. So it's even more powerful. In that sense, we're going to have two tools to show you how it works. For a really big company, Google, but at its starting point, just to show it works, and for McDonald's in India, just to show how you can use it as well. So these are the examples that we're going to use, and you will see it's a riding way just to move forward. Okay, so as I originally say, there are some premises of the framework that have been already explained. Just to help entrepreneur, this one, the scorecard with 9 items that are considered as core, and you can use it either for disruptive business model or existing companies. So what are the 9 areas that are mentioned by our friend Osterwalder and Pinier? Well, key partners, key activity, key resources, value proposal, customer relationship, channel, customer segment, cost structure, and revenue streams. Well, why is it put like that? First, just to show you the 3 major issues. So here, this is your bottom line, cost and revenues. The key one is the value proposition, how it works, and then you'll see that you've got 2 other axes that are working in a really symmetric way. So key partners, activities, and resources on one end, and about how to join the customer and about how you what are the relationship with the customer. So what is great with it is that it works in the following way. Imagine you start your company today, or first you got your idea, and you don't know where to go. So you use a canvas and you use Post-it. You've got a blackboard. You put the 9 areas of interest, and you use a Post-it. Boom, 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 boom. First of all, it shouldn't be too much thoughtful process. No. It's a brainstorming session. You go, boom, 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 you shoot. If you're with some partners, even better. Different partners, if everybody has his own color, boom, 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 you shoot. You shoot as much as you can for some session. At the end of the session, what you do is that you recover, you make a discussion, you make some pitch, and you keep it. Next week you do the same and work on your ideas, and you will see that your canvas will change over time. At some point you will say you'll be able to come back to the original point and say, hey, I think this was a better idea, you compound it. So it's really well done because you don't spend so much time on your spreadsheet, but you think about the strategic insight, which is the fundamental business for an entrepreneur. Okay, so if you do it, you start doing well. Great. So we say, yeah, but it seems a bit theoretical for me. Okay, no problem. We're going to have 2 examples. So one on Google and the second one on India. Just to make a differentiation, just to be sure that everybody knows the company, I decided to pick up a company that everybody knows, but I didn't want to do it initially, at least in its current form, but as it was before. Okay, so how is it? Well, Google at starting point, it's a meeting of first of two guys, Brin and Page. They're doing their PhD. So in terms of key resources, they want to make an algorithm, as you know, and basically they don't care that much about revenue stream. They're much more a non-economic aim. If you've done at the same time. Do they have much cost? Well, not that much either, for one simple reason. They are Stanford PhD. They can use the lab. No more issue. What do they want to do? Basically, they want to simplify their life, and when they're making a search engine stuff. Do they have customers? No, they don't care about customers because they're not selling. They've got users, and because they've got users, basically the point is, what do users want? Well, users are interested in information. Information has to be fast and relevant, and and free. So, how does it work? What is the channel? Well, here you don't have any van, any lorry of that sense. It's everything is digital. And if you want it to go fast, you just need to be sure that there's no ads, no images, really simple, and can go fast everywhere. Customer relationship, well, initially was almost nothing because you don't have customers, you got users. So again, we should refer to user relationship. And if they are happy, you can see that they're coming back. So, and here at some point say, hey, but it would be better to have some analytics with it. So afterwards, they created Google Analytics. But this was the original framework. At some point, they say, hey, if we want to improve the search engine, which is here, basically, we need to have some money. So they began having some relationship with a new partner, Yahoo, and they were licensing some project. So the license, they got some royalties. So they began having some revenues. And like that, in terms of cost, they were generating little money. But with the chain, sorry, and with the crash of the .com in 2001, well, difficult. So this is when you've got a key resource that is Eric Schmidt. Say, hey, you need to put ads, guys, because otherwise it's going to be terrific. And you can see, and they say it's just moving from search engine, moving to information. When we're talking about the business of information, they say, hey, but we just sat on a golden mine, and this golden mine is the user data. And from this point, they say maybe we could sell those user data to some customers, some people that are interested in those data. And this is the reason why they will generate plenty of product. Okay, so thanks to this, with only 9 boxes, you can do lots of things. Okay, and this is what I recommend you to do. So here you can move on time. So here you can see that here I didn't fill up the boxes because I wanted to have it in a dynamic way. Because otherwise, as we're going to see, it's too much static, and this is one of the hurdles that you may have on some basis. Okay. So just to maybe to speak about McDonald's in India, if we're talking about McDonald's, no doubt I wouldn't need to make such a big description, but in India, I'm not so sure that it's so well known. So here we can say they're quite new in India because they arrived in 1996. I mean, well, it's almost 20 years, man. It's not so old. Yeah, you're right. But we're talking about McDonald's. And what's quite interesting is that you say, hey, but it's those guys, what are they eating there? They can't eat cows. It would be no, they can't. They can't do it for obvious reason, for religious reason. So yeah, this is the reason why they arrive so late. And you know what? You will see that it's quite original because instead of having one dealer for or one subsidiary that will be controlled by themselves in the country, no, they've got two dealers. And here it's really smart because what may happen is that imagine one of them is not successful. Well, the other one would be successful, and like that, you're sure to have a better, better situation. And it's really interesting because, as you can see, they even changed the legal form. One is in joint venture, and the other one is in franchise. And really interesting to look at it. You see that each organization has 150 restaurant. Okay, just to be sure that as well, none of them is too much powerful respect to the other one. And obviously, what they always try to do at McDonald's is to avoid risk in terms of change. So they got local sourcing, and here they got 35 suppliers. And here we're entering into the dimension of McDonald's where everything's big, huge, or whatever. We're talking about 165 million customer annually. So it means that, assuming that all Indian goes to McDonald's, they just come, you got more than 15% of the population that's gone to McDonald's. Okay, and with only 300 restaurants, it's absolutely huge. You've attributed acquisition, but it's still a fantastic number. So when we're talking about India, I already evoked something that you cannot eat cows meat. Sorry. So in terms of burgers, they will necessarily be chicken burgers, and this is quite important. Because if this is, for instance, a beef and beef product, not sold here for obvious reason. And even in southern India, you should know that most of the products are veggie, and this is why the reason why you've got Maharaja Mac. And on the other hand, vegetable burger with cheese, just to be sure that to respect local culture. So why is it important? Well, it's important because first, you need to adjust to the purchasing power of people, and in that sense, the purchasing power in India is pretty low. Don't forget that Indian get in average less than $2,000 per inhabitant, and on top of that, you've got lots of poverty in rural areas. More than 500 million people live with less than $2 per day. Okay, I say this because as well, if we use the Big Mac index, the famous economist ranking, here it says how many burgers can you eat for 50 USD. Well, India comes ahead with 30 burgers for this price. But here you need to pay lots of attention to it because you cannot eat some Big Mac. It has to be substituted by chicken. Chicken is much cheaper than the beef, and because beef is more expensive, the comparison is somehow misleading. Okay, now this is what you get. Okay, now when we're going to refer to Indian market and to say how did they target it, well, when you use Canvas model, this is how it works. Here it is. Okay, so value proposition is McDonald's sells the American dream. This is the reason why they've got a similar range of product, but they need to adapt to Indian menus. Really important. And on top of that, they've got the home delivery, which is quite different. How do they get it? Well, basically, they've got different type of sales, outlet sales, and online sales on one end. Cost structure, where's the infrastructure, location, advertisement, fixed cost, and all the new eco-friendly package and so on, just to be sure that they're not going to be assimilated to an enemy of the environment, as they already suffer enough about being considered as a paragon of junk food. So this is the reason why they've been moving quite fast forward in eco-friendly packaging. When we're talking about their customer, it's quite interesting to see that you've got urban customer. I forgot the U. I don't know why I did a mistake. You got north and south, and common middle class family teenagers. Okay, really important to pay some attention about it. And at this point, it would say that the issue just to say, okay, channel is obviously the traditional outlet. You've got always more machines that are just appears in the store just to avoid to have fixed cost, people working there. And you should just to focus always more on e-commerce in some area, some urban area. What is the problem? The problem is the food has to remain hot, same quality as if if the burger was done in the store and delivered after 5 minutes. And this is the reason why it's still complex. Now, McDonald's is forced to move into that direction as well in all the countries, and obviously in India as well, because you've got always more company. Just to give an example of one, that Just Eat, that become to develop, and what they're doing basically is that they become a go-between for business. The unique issue is that in Just Eat, you just need to have 45-minute waiting time between the moment you order and between the moment you get the food. So it's far too long, because imagine you say you're a specialist of fast food and you're supposed to wait for 45 minutes. So you need to think ahead of time. So this is a big mess at this point. Okay. So how can you, if we go on with key resources and key activities? Well, here you've got some issues in terms of resources, but you've got the outlet, delivery, website, and you've got as well, what I didn't mention, but it's obvious, you've got a fantastic corporate tools that can deliver to you huge data in terms of what works, what doesn't work. This is absolutely fantastic. Okay. And this is it. Well, I don't know why I just make this mistake with the customer. I mean, this is a mistake with the customers. This is a U, and this is a O every time. There's 4 times in this document. Anyway, let's move forward. So, in a way to conclude, what can we say? Well, basically, we can say that it's a unique concept because it helps startup to move fast forward. Now, as such, it's a static concept. So if you want to make it work, you need to do on the way that that Osterwalder and Pligner said. Means that you need to come and do it on a regular time, as that you'll be able to see when your value proposition is at best. Okay, so this is it. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much to be with us on K2One. Enjoy. Ciao. Have a nice day.